Okay, so the effective and what? But guess what? We're live, and it's like 1:54 in the morning. I'm just coming back from the damn Ghostbusters movie, and we're gonna do it real quick tonight, man. I'm not trying to be up all night. It's late, but I just came back, and I wanted to give you a reaction. I didn't want to sleep on it because then you sleep on it, and all of a sudden, well, it wasn't that bad. This movie, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you my opinion, man. First 5 minutes will be just me talking about how I felt about the film and so on and so forth. But the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna go on a rant. So and that's cool with me. Um, but yeah, man. So this new movie, which is by the way a complete reboot. It's not best way to put it. It's not one of those things where you can be like, okay, this is something that's being made and the other stuff exists. No, no. This is simply a reboot. Everything about it is a reboot. It has nothing to do with previous Ghostbusters. It has nothing to do with anything really other than what you see on this particular film. So if you're a fan of the first two films, and you came to the movies thinking like, oh, I'm going to see something special and something kind of like what we saw in the other films, then you're wrong because that's not what you're going to hear. You're not going to hear anything from that. Um, but I will say this: uh, when they do remake these films, I don't get too, I don't know, I guess upset or you know, I don't get too angry or anything like that about anything that's going on. I just try to just just try to let it be what it is and treat it just like that. Something that it just is what it is. You know what I mean? But with that said, um, this film really surprised me. I didn't like this film at all, even though it did have parts in it that made me laugh. There was parts in it that made me go, "Oh, okay, that's pretty cool," um, and it was funny, and visually it looked great. But to me, as far as like a great story or even something, because as you can expect, there's a lot of cameos, but like even the cameos, everything seemed forced and cheap. Like we got to get this out now. You know what I mean? Like we really got to get this out now, and I didn't feel like the film lived up to the potential. I mean, as far as just the looks itself, it looks like a Ghostbusters film. Um, as far as like the ghost and the effects from the beams and stuff like that, and it feels good to see that because we always wonder like what would a Ghostbusters film look like with today's CGI. Oh, it'd be so dope if it had this or had that. And to me, it was just like it had all those things, but it was missing the one element that made Ghostbusters special. It they didn't see any chemistry really with the four girls. You know, some parts of the film, especially Kate McKinnon, uh, really annoying. She plays Jillian Holtzman, but they just call her Holtzman most of the film. Very annoying. Always like on 10, in your face stuff. Not really. There's no build up. There's no up or down. There's really no chemistry between the characters at all, in my opinion. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of upset that it looked like that. I'm a fan, so to see what it is and how it turned out was kind of like, oh, it was a punch in the gut, and it really sucked, man. But I hated the movie. I hated everything about the movie, other than a few laughs that I got from watching the movie. I really just didn't like it, and it's hard for me to speak on the movie without talking about the movie. So we're getting to that 5 minute point, and trust me, people, I give you 10 seconds. In that 10 seconds to leave the channel if you're gonna go watch the movie. I'm gonna give y'all 10 seconds. So 9, 8, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you are still here and you haven't seen the film, I feel bad for you because I'm about to, or if you want to see the film, I feel bad for you because I'm about to tell you everything. First things first, I felt like everything in this film was kind of forced. Now, there are parts of this film that are actually kind of really intelligently made. If you watch the film already, you realize that there's a part of this film where, ghosts are appearing. Now, in the original, they just go and they find, the supernatural thing and yada, 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 so on and so forth. It was something that just happened. And this, it showed there was an actual story to it. There was actually a reason why these things were coming out of nowhere. And I think it's John Milshire. That's how he says. John Milshire. He plays a guy named Hick. No, that's not him. Who's the main? Okay, I'm sorry, Steve Higgins. Is Steve Higgins? That ain't him either. Either way, there's a dude who plays the bad guy. The bad guy's setting traps everywhere, and these traps are releasing these supernatural beings. It's all part of a big pattern. It was dope. I thought that was dope. The bright spot of the story, pretty much for me, was the bad guy. I mean, he went up there, and he really was a bad guy, like a hateable bad guy. He was kind of strange. He was kind of weird. And the plot was, as far as getting him out there and like making all these things happen, made sense. The girls are kind of in different parts of their life from the beginning of this movie. One is a teacher. The other two are, working for a university. Part of the university they're not even paying attention to. They're not even, noticing that these people are down there making whatever they're making. You see at one point in the movie where the guy's like, I didn't even know the guys were down there. But if this is what you guys are looking up, and he ends up cutting them. But the way they came together, the way they came together wasn't too bad. I didn't have a problem with the way they came together. I was like, all right, cool. They came together. Basically, the girl that, sheesh, I'm terrible with. Well, Kristen Wiig, she plays Erin Gibbert. She's a teacher, and Melissa McCarthy is Abby Yates, right? And pretty much, Abby Yates puts out a book by Erin Gibbert that was written for some time beforehand, and they get together because Erin doesn't want the book out. She thinks it's going to threaten her current situation. Cool, right? And I was like, all right, cool. The other girl is pretty much with Melissa McCarthy's player, Abby, and they put together things. She's like her assistant. And they meet Leslie Jones. Leslie Jones runs into a ghost or whatever, and then she contacts them and so on and so forth. But, after that, it really doesn't make too much sense. I felt a lot of it was like forced, even the way the proton packs were built, the living conditions. I mean, there were parts of the film that were like, okay, like when they first looked at the firehouse, oh yeah, that's real reminiscent of, Ghostbusters 1. But, a lot of the stuff that was in there was kind of like, yeah. It just doesn't really push it. Now, there was some other stuff that I thought was pretty cool. That was just like the effects. I thought the ghosts looked really cool. The designs were really cool. The rendering on the characters were really cool. I thought they looked really good. Even the way they shot it looked really good. It was a pretty movie to watch. I watched it in 3D. It was really nice in 3D. If you're gonna watch it in 3D. Well, of course, you've already seen it if you listen to this part. Or you haven't, you just don't want to see it, and you want to hear my thoughts. If you're going to go watch it, then, go watch it in 3D. And that's where the movie just went crazy. The movie went to cheap cameos, long, drawn-out jokes, a lot of them not working. And also, just really, really bad story. There was no bonding between the characters. There was there was no underlining story between the characters. There was really no character development at all. It was just, okay, there's these girls. They found a common ground. They're together. They squeeze Chris Hemsworth in there. He gets some jokes. Cheap cameo, bad joke. Every now and again you get a good laugher. And then, you know, and a lot of the cameos weren't even just like old characters. A lot of the cameos were like ghosts, like old ghosts. The way they did the Stay Puft Marshmallow is just, it was horrible. I mean, like, the way they did the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was so bad. It was so off key. And, you know, the main villain at the end, the way he looked, I mean, a lot of it didn't look original. The main villain at the end looked like Mr. Oogie Boogie from A Nightmare Before Christmas. I was just like, okay. And it was very anticlimactic the way it ended. It just didn't, you know, I feel like if you have a movie, even if the movie sucks ass, like, it could be horrible. As long as you can end that thing, like if you could really end it and have like some kind of like dramatic things go down where it's like it's a great ending. A great ending can make a bad story look good. This was just a bad story with a bad ending. It was an upsettingly horrible movie. If I had to rank it from 1 to 5 stars, it would probably get something like maybe a 2. There was parts of the film that I thought were entertaining. I laughed at. There were parts of the film that I screamed at. Bullshit, because I was like, oh, this is horrible. This is just a very bad thing. But all in all, I really had high expectations for it. I had high hope for it. High expectations. I had none. The trailer was bad. I didn't know. I mean, I've yet to see a movie with a horrible trailer then come out and be a great film. But no, this was a bad film. And and it wasn't like Batman vs. Superman bad, where it was good, but, you know, the editing made it bad. No, this was bad. And there's no director's cut or 30 minutes you can add onto this or explanation you can get. It's just so bad. But it's a date movie. I expected to do numbers. The one day, first night didn't look so great, but it'll get better, probably. $140 million budget. Chances are they'll make that up in merchandising. Kids love Ghostbusters, mainly because we love Ghostbusters as adults. And that's it. This is the first time I've ever discussed a film, and in 13 minutes I can be like, this is just a bad film. There was not too many redeeming qualities of the film. I call it qualities of this film. You know, I'm so upset I'm tripping over my words. I had not too much good stuff to say about this film. I went in, I saw the movie, and I was upset. And usually, you know, I have a couple of friends, because I went with a bunch of friends today. And, you know, somebody will say it was dope. And one friend said it was cute, which is kind of like what you call ugly babies that you don't want to touch. That's cute. But it was a bad film. Hopefully, some redeeming thing will happen. Like somebody will look at this and say, maybe we should just reboot this and kind of add this on as a loss and make something that's more connected to the original. I mean, you got all the original characters there, so getting them in it wasn't a problem. But I think writing them the way they wrote them was cheap, and they played off the fact that everybody would feel nostalgic about it, and it was just bad. It was just plain bad. I have not too much good things to say about it, but it is 2:08 in the morning. It's been real, man. I just wanted to give you guys my my thing on it. And that's pretty much it, man. Got some new equipment, got some new stuff going. Podcast, like I said, will always get better in quality. And yes, it is. Hopefully I sound better with this mic. I can't hear myself through my headphones. But yeah, always working on quality and making the show better. So if you're up listening or you listen later, thank you for listening. Man, this is the Back Pages, and let me get at y'all sometime this week. Peace.